Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ricardo Gutierrez, Dr. Person, and I would like to welcome you all to the opening of bids for three Capiz second DEO project, 26GP0075, the bid installation application of road safety facilities for grid lighting along Roxas City, Cagay, Sibangwan, Baliwagan, Pudian, Ibisan Road, KO101 plus -524 to KO101 plus 460, KO102 plus 390 to KO102 plus 612.27 with an EBC of 15,421,280 pesos. 26GP0096, the blocking of concrete pavement along Sigma, Mambusao, Jamindan Road, KO088 plus 397 to KO108 plus 155. And Capiz Aklan Road, KO324 plus 742, KO346 plus 171. Intermittent sections with an EBC of 3,504,316 pesos and 36 centavos. 26GP0083, construction of drainage structure along road, Iloilo-Capiz Road, new route, KO078 plus 160 to KO079 plus 000 with an ABC of 18,727,800 pesos. And afterwards, the Rebid conference for one regional project and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Iloilo third project and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Capiz second DEO project. So for regional office number 6, 26G0042, construction of 50 school buildings projects, 137 classrooms in various school sites in region 6, with an approved budget for the contract of 479,264,725 pesos and 90 centavos. For Iloilo 30EO, 26GA0095, construction completion full purpose building, Barangay Lumimot, Estancia, Iloilo, with an ABC of 3,960,000 pesos. 26GA0085, reconstruction of concrete pavement, Iloilo East Coast, Capiz Road, KO229 plus 000, KO231 plus 030, with an ABC of 48,976,645 pesos. 26GA0086, reconstruction of concrete pavement, Balasan Carles Road, KO177 plus 296 to KO179 plus 533 with an ABC of 55,119,820 pesos. 26GA0087, preventive maintenance of road, asphalt overlay, Barong Santa Bayan Road, KO079 plus 992 to KO081 plus 492 with an approved budget for the contract of 58,037,995 pesos. 26GA0088, construction of concrete road, construction of road, Barangay Almeñana, Lemery, Iloilo, Station 0 plus 000 to Station 0 plus 400 with an ABC of 9,377,620 pesos. Contract ID for Capiz second DEO 26GP0097, preventive maintenance, primary roads, Iloilo-Capiz Road, new route, KO066 plus 390 to KO068 plus 100 with an ABC of 69,591,940 pesos. 26GP0098, preventive maintenance, secondary roads, Junction National Road, Cortero, Tapulang, Maayang Road, KO098 plus 800 to KO0100 plus 103 with an ABC of 25,430,020 pesos. 26GP0099, preventive maintenance, secondary roads, Junction National Road, Cortero, Tapulang, Maayang Road, KO104 plus 000 to KO106 plus 550 with an ABC of 42,116,480 pesos. 26GP0100, construction completion of bridge, Barangay Bungsuan to Barangay Lawaan to Iloilo-Capiz, Station 1 plus 820 to Station 2 plus 120 with an ABC of 80,755,240 pesos. 26GP0101, preventive maintenance, Tertiary Roads, Junction National Road, Ayuyan, Inaytayan Road, KO093 plus 483 to KO093 plus 937.55 with an ABC of 9,075,780 pesos. So before we proceed, may I request Engineer Catherine Manana to lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Engineer Ricardo Gutierrez, our back chairperson. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord our God, we come before you with grateful hearts, thanking you for this new day and for the gift of life and good health. Also for your continuous love, mercy, forgiveness, and provisions to each and every one of us. for your protection and for keeping us safe and our families every day. Lord, with your divine intervention, help us to face every challenge with faith and courage. Guide our thoughts, words, and actions each day, and help us to live our life according to your holy will. Again, thank you, Lord, that we are here present this afternoon for the opening of bids for various infra projects of Capiz Second District Engineering Office, as well as the pre-bid conference for the procurement of various infra projects of the Regional Office, Capiz Second District Engineering Office, and Iloilo Third District Engineering Office. As we open these bids of our participating bidders, be in our midst, Lord, so that we will be properly guided and protected in the performance of our duties. All this we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. Please be informed that this opening of bids is being live streamed to the YouTube channel of the DPWH Regional Office number 6. In this regard, may we kindly request everyone to place their cellular phones on silent mode. May I call on again Engineer Captain of the Roxas Client Contact Bureau, called in order to determine the presence of a quorum. Kindly respond present or here when your name is called.
Again, thank you, Sir Ray. Sir, the bids and awards committee are composed of the following. We have our back chairperson, Engineer Ricardo R. Gutierrez.
Present.
Our back vice chairperson, Engineer Gladwin David Esma. Our back regular member, Engineer Marilu G. Zamora. And our back provisional members, Engineer Marichu C. Baldonado. And Engineer Salvador D. Ripalda of Capiz Second District Engineering Office. Sir, please be informed that 4 out of 5 members of the Bids and Awards Committee for the procurement of infra projects of Capiz Second District Engineering Office are present in this afternoon's opening of bids we have.
Thank you, ma'am. Having established that the required members are present, so 3 out of 5, and for regional office, for Capiz Second, and for Iloilo Third, I hereby declare the opening of bids duly constituted and in order.
Also present are the back secretariat and the back DPWH. Please be informed that observers were duly notified and invited in writing, but unfortunately none of them sent their representatives to attend this opening of bids we have this afternoon. Thank you.
So may I request the Back Secretariat to access the bid portal, open and read the technical proposal, the bidders who submitted their bids electronically, and providing corresponding hard copies to the technical working group for evaluation, together with the technical proposal of the bidders who submitted manually. Thereafter, I request the Back Secretariat to process the eligibility results of the participating bidders, the civil works application, lang announce the results of the evaluation of technical proposal of the bidders who submitted manually and the eligibility results. For contract ID 26 GP 0075 Rebid, installation application of road safety facilities for the lighting along Roxas City, Kakay, Sibaguan, Pagiguagan, Kudian, Ibisan Road, KO 101 plus 19524 to KO 101 plus 460, KO 102 plus 390 to KO 102 plus 612.27. So no bids received, failure of bidding. For contract ID 26GP0096, reblocking of coffee pavement along Sigma, Mambusao, Jamindan Road, KO 088 plus 397 to KO 108 plus 155, and Capiz Aklan Road, KO 324 plus 724 to KO 346 plus 171 in 30 transactions, with an ABC of 3,504,316 pesos and 36 centavos. We have a loan bidder, Nicol Rents Construction Services, for bid security declaration with a validity period of 120 calendar days, past and eligible to bid. For contract ID 26GP0083, construction of drainage structure along road, Iloilo-Capiz Road, New Route, KO 078 plus 160 to KO 079 plus 000, with an ABC of 18,727,800 pesos. We have three bidders. Nicol Rents Construction Services for bid security declaration with 120 calendar days validity period. Woodland Construction and Supply Inc. for bid security declaration with 120 calendar days validity period. Brooklyn and Connor Builders for bid security declaration with a validity period of 120 calendar days, all passed and eligible to bid. May I request the technical working group to open the second envelope of the eligible participating bidders. We now announce the results of the evaluation of the bids of the eligible participating bidders. For contract ID 26GP0096, Reblocking of Pavement along Sigma Mambusao Jamindan Road, KO 088 plus 397, KO 108 plus 155, and Capiz Aklan Road, KO 324 plus 742, KO 346 plus 171, Intermittent section, penalty of 3,504,360 pesos and 36 centavos. We have loan bidder, Nicole Rents Construction Services. Total bid amount of 3,499,270 pesos and 13 centavos. For contract ID 26GP0083, construction of drainage structure of road, Iloilo-Capiz Road, New Route, KO 078 plus 160, KO 079 plus 000. Penalty of 18,727,800 pesos. We have three bidders, Nicole Rents Construction Services. Total bid amount of 17,527,548 pesos and 84 centavos. Woodland Construction Supply Inc. Total bid amount of 18,553,802 pesos and 85 centavos. Third bidder is Brooklyn and Corner Builders with a total bid amount of 18,427,800 pesos. First is Nicole Rents Construction Services. Second is Brooklyn and Corner Builders. And rank number 3 is Woodland Construction and Supplies. Please note that the result of this opening of bid shall be subject to detailed bid evaluation, arithmetical correction, and post qualification. So may I ask if there are any questions or clarification? There being none, I hereby declare the opening of bids adjourned. Thank you. So we will proceed to Rebid conference. Tutuloy natin. Okay. Friends, may I call on Engineer Catherine Manana of the Back Secretariat to conduct the roll call in order to determine the presence of quorum. Kindly respond present or here where your name is called.
Thank you, Engineer Catherine Gutierrez, our back chairperson. Sir, the bids and awards committee are composed of the following. We have our back chairperson, Engineer Ricardo R. Gutierrez.
Present.
Our back vice chairperson, Engineer Graduate Ledesma. Our back regular member, Engineer Mariluchi Zamora. And our back provisional members, Engineer Marichu C. Baldonado. Engineer Ruth R. Pedroso for the regional office. Engineer Clint Ryan Swarnaba of Iloilo District Engineering Office.
Present.
And Engineer Salvador D. Ripalda of Capiz Second District Engineering Office.
Present.
Sir, please be informed that 4 out of 5 members of the Bids and Awards Committee for the procurement of infra projects for the Regional Office, Capiz Second District Engineering Office, and Iloilo Third District Engineering Office are present in this afternoon's pre-bid conference.
Thank you, ma'am. Since 4 out of 5 members of the BAC are present for the regional office, for Capiz Second DEO, for Iloilo Third DEO, I hereby declare this private conference duly constituted.
Also present are the BAC Secretariat. Please be informed that observers were duly notified and invited in writing, but unfortunately none of them sent their representatives to attend this pre-bid conference we have this afternoon. And to discuss to us the brief description and details of the project to be procured we have from Capiz Second District Engineering Office, Engineer Patricia Garcia, And from Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office, we have Engineer Lina Catalan.
Thank you, ma'am. May I request the Back Secretariat to present the pertinent data for each contract.
For Regional Office 6, contract ID number 26G00042, contract name, construction of 50 school building projects, 137 classrooms in various school sites in Region 6. Location, Aklan, Antigua-Capiz, and Iloilo. Implementing Office, Regional Office 6, funding source FY 2026, General Appropriations Act, or JA. Approved budget for the contract is 479,264,725 pesos and 94 centavos. Contract duration is 241 calendar days. For the scope of works, this project involves the construction of 50 Department of Education or DepEd school buildings, 137 classrooms designed to support the growing educational needs of the community by providing safe, functional, and conducive learning environments. The development includes various standard school building configurations, such as a one-story, one classroom building, one-story, two classroom building, one-story, three classroom building, one-story, five classroom building, two-story, four classroom building, and two-story, six classroom building. Each structure is planned with reinforced concrete construction, adequate ventilation and lighting, accessible facilities, and compliance with DepEd standards and the National Building Code to ensure durability, safety, and comfort for students and teachers. For the major category of works, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. For the similar categories of works, buildings, construction with piles, low-rise concrete frame pass-in-place piles 1 to 5 stories, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame driven piles 6 and above stories, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame driven piles 16 and above stories, buildings, construction with piles, low-rise concrete frame driven piles 1 to 5 stories. For the list of key personnel, for the position of one project manager, one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman, the minimum years of total work experience is 5, the same with the minimum years of experience in similar works. List of key equipment units: 50 backhoe, 50 bar benders single phase, 50 bar cutter single phase, 50 bulldozer, 50 concrete vibrator, 100 cutting outfit, 100 dump truck. Please take note of their capacity. 34 jackhammer, 51 bagger mixer, 50 payloader, 50 plate compactor, 50 truck mounted crane, 5 water truck with pump, and 100 welding machines electric driven DC output. Please take note of their capacity.
For Iloilo 3rd DO projects. For contract ID number 26GH0085, contract name, Reconstruction to Concrete Pavement, Iloilo East Coast, Capiz Road, kilometer 229 to kilometer 231 plus 030. Location, Ahoy, Iloilo. Implementing Office, Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office. Funding source, FY 2026 General Appropriations Act. Approved budget for the contract, we have 48,976,645 pesos. For the scope of works, reconstruction of 6.1 meter width, 300 mm thick PCCP to linear links, paving of shoulder 230 mm thick, construction of open canal, provision of stone masonry, Installation of single-arm solar LED roadway lighting, 10-meter pole, 125 watts to 150 watts, with concrete pedestal, and application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white. Contract duration, 192 calendar days. For major category of works, roads, rehabilitation, PCCP. For similar categories of works, roads, construction, PCCP, roads, construction, tunnel, PCCP. For the list of key personnel, one project manager should have a minimum years of total work experience for 5 years and a minimum years of experience in similar works for 5 years. The same with one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman. For the list of key equipment units, one backhoe, 2 dump truck, 2 transit mixer, 3 concrete vibrator, 1 water truck, 1 motorized road grader with scarifier, 1 cargo truck or delivery truck, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender. Please take note of the capacity. Also, we have 1 payloader, 1 concrete screeder, 1 bagger mixer, 1 boom truck, 1 backhoe with breaker, 1 vibratory roller, 1 joint sealer machine, 1 applicator machine, and 1 kneading machine. Please take note of the capacity. For contract ID number 26GH0086, contract name, Reconstruction to Concrete Pavement, Balasan Carlos Road, kilometer 177 plus 296 to kilometer 179 plus 533. Location, Carles, Iloilo. Implementing Office, Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office. Funding source, FY 2026 General Appropriations Act. Approved budget for the contract, 55,919,820 pesos. For the scope of works, reconstruction of 6.1 meter width, 280 mm thick PCCP to inner lanes, reblocking of outer lanes and intermittent section, paving of shoulder, provision of sidewalk with curb and gutter, construction of culvert canal, construction of reinforced concrete box culvert RCBC 3-barrel 1.25 by 1.25 meter, installation of guardrails with paint, installation of single-arm solar LED roadway lighting 10-meter pole 125 watts to 150 watts with concrete pedestal and application of reflectorized thermal pavement markings white. Contract duration, 204 calendar days. For major category works, roads, rehabilitation, PCCP. For similar categories of works, roads, construction, PCCP, and roads, construction, tunnel, PCCP. For the list of key personnel, one project manager should have a minimum years of total work experience for 5 years and a minimum years of experience in similar works for 5 years. The same with one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman. For the list of key equipment units, one backhoe, 2 dump truck, 2 transit mixer, 2 concrete vibrator, 2 water truck, 1 motorized road grader, 1 cargo truck or delivery truck, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 1 payloader, 1 concrete screeder, 1 bagger mixer, 1 boom truck, 1 truck mounted crane, 1 generator set, 1 backhoe with breaker, and 1 payloader. Please take note of the capacity. For contract ID number 26GH0087, contract name, Preventive Maintenance of Road, Asphalt Overlay, Barotac Viejo San Rafael Road, kilometer 79 plus 992 to kilometer 81 plus 492. Location, Barotac Viejo, Iloilo. Implementing Office, Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office. Funding source, FY 2026 General Appropriations Act. Approved budget for the contract, we have 58,037,995 pesos. For the scope of works, asphalt overlay of 50 mm thick 4 lanes with concrete reblocking of 280 mm thick PCCP, construction of open canal, installation of concrete barrier with paint, installation of single-arm solar LED roadway lighting 10-meter pole 125 watts to 150 watts with concrete pedestal, and the application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings. Contract duration, 111 calendar days. For major category of works, roads, rehabilitation, asphalt. For similar categories of works, roads, construction, asphalt. For the list of key personnel, one project manager should have a minimum years of total work experience for 5 years and a minimum years of experience in similar works for 5 years. The same will, one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman. For the list of key equipment units, one backhoe and breaker, 2 dump truck, 1 water truck, 1 asphalt distributor, 10 feet wide, 1 asphalt paver, 1 pneumatic tie roller, 1 tandem steel roller, 1 power glue, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 1 concrete vibrator, 1 backroom mixer, 1 cargo truck or delivery truck, 1 applicator machine, 1 kneading machine, and 1 boom truck. Please take note of the capacity. For contract ID number 26GH0088, contract name, construction of concrete road, construction of road, Barangay Alpiñana and Lemery, Iloilo, station 0+00 to station +0+400. Location, Ahoy, Iloilo. Implementing Office, Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office. Funding source, FY 2026 General Appropriations Act. Approved budget for the contract, 9,377,620 pesos. For the scope of works, we have Part A, facilities for the engineer. Part B, other general requirements. Part C, earthworks. Part D, sub-base and base course. Part E, surface courses. Part G, drainage and slope protection structures. Contract duration, 55 calendar days. For major category works, roads, construction, PCCP. For similar categories of works, roads, rehabilitation, PCCP. Roads, construction, tunnel, PCCP. For the list of key personnel, one project manager should have a minimum years of total work experience for 5 years and a minimum years of experience in similar works for 5 years. The same with one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman. For the list of key equipment units, one backhoe, 2 dump truck, 2 transit mixer, 2 concrete vibrator, 1 water truck, 1 motorized road grader, 1 cargo truck or delivery truck, 1 bar cutter, 1 bar bender, 1 payloader, 1 concrete screeder, 1 bagger mixer, 1 boom truck, 1 vibratory roller, 1 joint sealer machine, 1 applicator machine, and 1 milling machine. Please take note of the capacity. For contract ID number 26GH0095, contract name, construction completion of multi-purpose building, Barangay Logingot, Estancia, Iloilo. Location, Barangay Logingot, Estancia, Iloilo. Implementing Office, Iloilo 3rd District Engineering Office. Funding source, FY 2026 General Appropriations Act. Approved budget for the contract, we have 3,960,000 pesos. Scope of works, construction of 2-story multi-purpose building including earthworks, plain and reinforced concrete works, finishing works and other civil works, electrical works and mechanical works. Contract duration, 115 calendar days. For major category of works, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise, concrete frame, 1 to 5 story. For similar categories of works, buildings, construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame, cast in place piles, 6 and above stories. Buildings, construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame, cast in place piles, 16 and above stories. Buildings, construction with piles, low-rise, concrete frame, cast in place piles, 1 to 5 stories. Buildings, construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame, driven piles, 6 and above stories. Buildings, construction with piles, high-rise, concrete frame, driven piles, 16 and above stories. Buildings, construction with piles, low-rise, concrete frame, driven piles, 1 to 5 stories. Buildings, construction without piles, high-rise, concrete frames, 6 and above stories. Buildings, construction without piles, high-rise, concrete frames, 16 and above stories. Buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise, concrete frame, driven piles, 6 to 15 stories. Buildings, construction with piles, medium-rise, concrete frame, cast-in-place piles, 6 to 15 stories. And buildings, construction without piles, medium-rise, concrete frame, 6 to 15 stories. For the list of key personnel, one project manager should have a minimum years of total work experience for 5 years and a minimum years of experience in similar works for 5 years. The same with one project engineer, one project inspector, one materials engineer, one safety officer, and one foreman. For the list of key equipment units, one bagger mixer, one bar cutter, one bar bender, 2 welding machine, 1 cutting outfit, 1 generator set, 2 concrete vibrator, 1 backhoe, 2 dump truck, 1 plate compactor. Please take note of the capacity.
Good afternoon, everyone. For Capiz second DO projects, we have 26 GP0097 preventive maintenance, primary roads, Iloilo-Capiz Road, New Road, kilometer 66 plus 390 to kilometer 68 plus 100, located at Iloilo-Capiz. The implementing office is the Capiz second DO. Funding source is the FY 2026 General Appropriations Act with approved budget for the contract of 69,591,940 pesos. For the scope of works, we have asphalt overlay, 50 mm thick, reblocking on shuttered slab, removal of existing asphalt overlay, metal guardrails, hazard markers, chevron signs, sidewalk, canal box type with curb and gutter and thermoplastic pavement markings. Contract duration, we have 237 calendar days. For the major category of works, we have roads, construction, asphalt, and for the similar categories of works, we have roads, rehabilitation, asphalt. For the list of key personnel, 1 key personnel for each position, the project manager, project engineer, project inspector, materials engineer 1, safety officer, and foreman with minimum of 5 years of total work experience and same number of years for the minimum years of experience in similar works. For the list of key equipment units, 1 unit for applicator machine, asphalt distributor, backhoe with breaker, transit mixer, cargo truck or delivery truck, concrete screener, 2 units for concrete vibrator, 2 units for dump truck, 1 unit for motorized road grader with scarifier, pneumatic tire roller, 1 unit for payloader, vibratory roller, 2 units for water truck with pump, and 1 unit for power boom and tandem steel roller. Please take note of its capacity. Next project is 26 GP0098, preventive maintenance, secondary roads, junction, National Road, Cordero, Tapulang, Ayon Road, kilometer 98 plus 800 to kilometer 100 plus 103. Located at Iloilo-Capiz, the implementing office is the Capiz second DO. Funding source is the FY 2026 General Appropriations Act with an approved budget for the contract of 25,430,020 pesos. For the scope of works, we have asphalt overlay 50 mm thick, reblocking on shuttered slabs, and thermoplastic pavement markings. For the contract duration, we have 102 calendar days. For the major category of works, we have roads, construction, asphalt, and for the similar categories of works, we have roads, rehabilitation, asphalt. For the list of key personnel, 1 key personnel for each position, the project manager, project engineer, project inspector, materials engineer 1, safety officer, and foreman, with the minimum of 5 years of total work experience and same number of years for the minimum years of experience in similar works. For the list of key equipment units, 1 unit for applicator machine, asphalt distributor, backhoe with breaker, cargo truck or delivery truck, concrete screener, 2 units for concrete vibrator, 2 units for dump truck, 1 unit for motorized road grader with scarifier, pneumatic tire roller, payloader, 1 unit for vibratory roller, 2 units for water truck with pump, and 1 unit for power boom, tandem steel roller, and transit mixer. Please take note of its corresponding capacities. Next project is 26 GP0099, Preventive Maintenance, Secondary Roads Junction National Road, Cordero Tapulang Maayad Road, kilometer 104 to kilometer 106 plus 550, located at Iloilo-Capiz. The implementing office is the Capiz 2nd DEO. Funding source is the FY 2026 General Appropriations Act, with an approved budget for the contract of 42,116,480 pesos. For the scope of works, we have asphalt overlay 50 mm thick, reblocking on shattered slabs, hazard markers, chevron, stone masonry, and thermoplastic pavement markings. The contract duration is 150 calendar days. For the major category of works, we have roads, construction, asphalt, and for the similar categories of works, we have roads, rehabilitation, asphalt. For the list of key personnel, 1 key personnel for each position: the project manager, project engineer, project inspector, materials engineer 1, safety officer, and foreman, with the minimum of 5 years of total work experience and same number of years for the minimum years of experience in similar works. For the list of key equipment units, 1 unit for applicator machine, asphalt distributor, backhoe with breaker, transit mixer, cargo truck or delivery truck, concrete screener, 2 units for concrete vibrator, 2 units for dump truck, 1 unit for motorized grader with scarifier, pneumatic tire roller, payloader, vibratory roller, 2 units for water truck with pump, and 1 unit for power boom and tandem steel roller. Please take note of its corresponding capacities. Next project is 26 GP0100. Construction completion of bridge, Barangay Bungsuan to Barangay Lawaan to Iloilo-Capiz, from Station 1 plus 820 to Station 2 plus 120. Located at Iloilo-Capiz, the implementing office is the Capiz 2nd DEO. The funding source is the FY 2026 General Appropriations Act, with an approved budget for the contract of 18,755,240 pesos. For the scope of works, we have completion of bridge structure and embankment approaches, including slope protection. The contract duration is 109 calendar days. For the major category of works, we have roads, construction, PCCP, and for the similar categories of works, we have roads, rehabilitation, PCCP, and roads, construction, tunnel, PCCP. List of key personnel: 1 key personnel for each position: the project manager, project engineer, project inspector, materials engineer 1, safety officer, and foreman, with a minimum of 5 years of total work experience and same number of years for the minimum years of experience in similar works. For the list of key equipment units, 2 units for dump truck, 1 unit for water truck with pump, cargo truck, backhoe wheel type, 1 power mixer, concrete vibrator, bar cutter, bar bender, cutting outfit, payloader, 1 unit for motorized road grader, and 1 unit for vibratory roller. Please take note of its corresponding capacities. Next project is contract ID number 26 GP0101, Preventive Maintenance, Tertiary Roads, Junction National Road, Iloilo-Capiz Road, kilometer 93 plus 483 to kilometer 93 plus 937.55. Located at Iloilo-Capiz, the implementing office is the Capiz 2nd DEO. Funding source is the FY 2026 General Appropriations Act, with an approved budget for the contract of 9,075,780 pesos. For the scope of works, we have asphalt overlay 50 mm thick, reblocking on shattered slabs, thermoplastic pavement markings, and hazard markers, chevron signs. Contract duration, we have 52 calendar days. For the major category of works, we have roads, construction, asphalt, and for the similar categories of works, we have roads, rehabilitation, asphalt. For the list of key personnel, 1 key personnel for each position: the project manager, project engineer, Project Inspector, Materials Engineer 1, Safety Officer, and Foreman with a minimum of 5 years of total work experience and same number of years for the minimum years of experience in similar works. List of key equipment units: 1 unit for applicator machine, asphalt distributor, backhoe with breaker, transit mixer, cargo truck or delivery truck, 1 unit for concrete skidder, 2 units for concrete vibrator, 2 units for dump truck, 1 unit for motorized road grader with clarifier, pneumatic tire roller, tail loader, vibratory roller, 2 units for water truck with pump, and 1 unit for power boom. Please take note of its corresponding capacities. ISO 9001:2015, these requirements applies to bidders classified under the following Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB size range and are participating in the department's procurement of infrastructure projects with approved budget for the contract range group. First, PCAB size range large A, the allowable range of contract costs is more than 300 million but less than 450 million. For the medium B, we have more than 150 million but less than 300 million. And for the medium A, we have more than 30 million but less than 150 million. As per large B contractors, ISO 9001:2015 certification or its latest version shall continue to be required when participating in the bidding of infrastructure projects costing 300 million and above as clarified through DO1 series of 2011 until revoked or superseded. For the schedules for Regional Project 6, Regional Office 6 projects, we have deadline for submission of clarification on July 6, 2026, deadline for submission of bids on July 13, 2026, number of copies of bid proposal, 1 original copy of technical and financial envelope of its bid, at the place of submission of bids at bidding room DPWH Regional Office 6, Fort San Pedro, Iloilo City. For the schedules for Iloilo TO projects, we have deadline for submission of clarification on July 6, 2026, and the deadline for submission of bids on July 14, 2026. For the schedules for Capiz Second DO projects, we have the deadline for submission of clarification on July 6, 2026, and for the deadline for submission of bids on July 16, 2026. For the number of copies of bid proposal, 1 original copy of technical and financial envelope of its bid, and for the place of submission of bids at bidding room DPWH Regional Office 6, Fort San Pedro, Iloilo City.
Preparation of bids. The first bid envelope shall contain the following technical documents, including the eligible
PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership, in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's SLCC in accordance with ITB Clause 5.5. The SLCC shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the constructor's performance evaluation system or CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. NFCC computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5.6, joint venture agreement if applicable, bid security in the prescribed form and amount in accordance with ITB Clause 16, and validity period under ITB Clause 15. Project requirements, which shall include the following: organizational chart of the personnel to be deployed for the procurement project to be bid, years of experience set in the BDS, list of contractors' personnel, example given, project manager, project engineer, project inspector, materials engineer, and foreman, to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid with their complete qualifications and experience data. These personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be, which must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS and the IRR. Omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of the IRR of RA 12009. Latest General Information Sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial bid form, which includes the bid prices and the bill of quantities, in accordance with ITB Clauses 13.1. The contract shall be for the whole works as described in the bidding documents based on the priced bill of quantities submitted by the bidder. The bidder shall fill in rates and prices for all items of the works described in the bill of quantities. In case partial bids are allowed in the ITB, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable, the bill of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and shall be automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. For the given scope of work in the contract as awarded, all bid prices shall be considered as fixed prices and therefore not subject to price escalation during contract implementation, except under extraordinary circumstances as specified in GCC Clause 45. Bid currencies. All bid prices shall be quoted in Philippine peso unless otherwise provided in the BDS. However, for purposes of bid evaluation, bids denominated in foreign currency shall be converted to Philippine currency based on the exchange rate as published in the BSV Daily Reference Exchange Rate Bulletin on the day of the bid opening. Bid validity. Bids shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Should it become necessary to extend the validity of the bids and the bid securities beyond 120 calendar days, the procuring entity concerned shall request in writing all those who submitted bids for such extension before the expiration date therefor. Bidders, however, shall have the right to refuse to grant such extension without forfeiting their bid security. The bidder, at its option, shall submit a bid security in the form and amount as stated in the BDS, which may include the following. The bidder shall submit a bid securing declaration or any form of bid security enumerated below. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank. The amount to bid security not less than % of the ABC is 2%. Bank draft, guarantee or irrevocable LC issued by universal or commercial bank, 5%. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security is 5%. Format and signing of bids. Bidders shall submit their bids through their duly authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided on or before the deadline specified in the ITB Clause 19 in 2 separate sealed bid envelopes which shall be submitted simultaneously, whether through manual or online submission. The first shall contain the technical component of the bid, including the eligibility requirements under ITB Clause 12, and the second shall contain the financial component of the bid. Forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17.1 must be completed without any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the bill of quantities under Section 9 hereof, shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be a ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representatives of the bidder. Sealing and marking of bids. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents described in ITB Clause 12 in one sealed envelope marked Technical Component, and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked Financial Component, sealing them all in an outer envelope marked Bid. The bid shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters. Bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. It should be addressed to the procuring entities backed in accordance with ITB Clause 18.1. It should bear the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITB Clause 1.1, and it should bear a warning "Do not open before" the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with ITB Clause 19. For manually submitted bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding documents, the same shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. On the other hand, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes or bids that cannot be opened or corrupted in case of online submission shall be rejected. The BAC shall assume no responsibility for misplaced or lost contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid, or for its premature opening. Submission and opening of bids. Deadline for submission of bids. Bids must be received by the procuring entities back at the address indicated in the IB on or before the date and time indicated in the BDS. Late bids. Bids including the eligibility requirements submitted after the deadline shall be rejected by the BAC. The BAC shall record in the minutes of the meeting the submission and opening of the bids, the bidder's name, its representative, and the time the late bid was submitted. Modification and withdrawal of bids. Bidders may modify their bids before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. The bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve their original bid, but shall only be allowed to submit the bid modification by sending another bid, equally sealed, properly identified, linked to its original bid, and marked as a modification thereof and stamped received by the BAC. Bid modifications received after the applicable deadline shall not be considered and shall be returned to the bidder unopened. Bidders may withdraw their bids in writing before the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. Withdrawal of bids after the applicable deadline shall be subject to appropriate sanctions as prescribed in the IRR. Bidders may also express their intention not to participate in the bidding in writing, which should be received by the BAC before the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. Bidders that withdraw their bid shall no longer be allowed to submit another bid for the same contract, directly or indirectly. No bid may be modified after the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. Further, no bid may be withdrawn in the interval between the deadline for submission and receipt of bids and the expiration of bid validity specified by the bidder in the financial bid form. Withdrawal of bid during this interval shall result in the forfeiture of the bidder's bid security pursuant to ITB Clause 16.5 and the imposition of administrative sanctions as prescribed by RA number 12009 and without prejudice to the imposition of civil and criminal sanctions as provided under applicable laws. Alternative bid shall be rejected. For this purpose, alternative bid shall pertain to an offer made by a bidder in addition or as a substitute to its original bid, which may be included as part of its original bid or submitted separately. A bid with options shall likewise be considered an alternative bid regardless of whether said bid proposal is contained in a single envelope or submitted in 2 or more separate bid envelopes. Bidders shall submit offers that comply with the requirements of the bidding documents, including the basic technical design as indicated in the drawings and specifications. Unless there is a value engineering clause in the BDS, alternative bid shall not be accepted. Each bidder shall submit only one bid, either individually or as a partner in a JV. A bidder who submits or participates in more than one bid, other than as a subcontractor, if a subcontractor is permitted to participate in more than one bid, will cause all the proposals with the bidder's participation to be disqualified. This shall be without prejudice to any applicable criminal, civil, and administrative penalties that may be imposed upon the persons and entities concerned. Common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidders. Failure to submit the original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and the name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period, overlapping of pledged equipment and committed key technical personnel, failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form, late submission of bid. Failure to submit supporting documents, example given, certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project if equipment pledge is to be leased or purchased. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Unsatisfactory CPES rating. For a single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. For corporation and cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution. For joint venture resolution or agreement, and for partnership as indicated in the Articles of Partnership. Evaluation and comparison of bids, process to be confidential. Members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, secretariat, and TWG as well as observers are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award, unless otherwise allowed in the case of ITB Clause 24. Any effort by a bidder to influence the procuring entity in the procuring entity's decision in respect of bid evaluation, bid comparison, or contract award will result in the rejection of the bid. The financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. For completeness, no price in required item, non-responsive, indicating a 0 or a dash, free to the government. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. For arithmetical corrections, bid prices and figures versus words prevail. Total price per item versus unit price per item, unit price prevails. Total price versus actual sum of component items, actual sum prevails. Unit cost in detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ, BOQ prevails. If above ABC, disqualified. Post-qualification, the bidder, within a non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from receipt of notice from the BAC that it submitted the lowest calculated bid, shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJob certificate of registration, Platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the BDS. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid's security. Verification, validation, and ascertainment of statements made and documents submitted. Legal requirements, licenses, certificates, permits, agreements, and exclusion in any blacklist. For technical requirements, key personal minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied, availability and commitment of major construction equipment, failure of the prospective bidder to state the complete technical description of the pledged equipment and the specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security for DO number 58, series of 2012. Technical requirements, performance in ongoing government and private contracts, negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts, failure of the contractor to commence repair works and complete ongoing contracts in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and deficiencies, failure of the contractor to commence repair works and contracts with pending certificates of acceptance in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and failures, substandard quality of works or unsatisfactory performance per contract per conditions at the term of inspection, strict application of DO number 127 series of 2018 and the conduct of the post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with the DPWH. Technical requirements, authenticity and correctness of bid security, financial requirements, bid price proposal and NFCC, notes on the personal and equipment requirements of the project as per DO number 9, series of 2012 on technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications certified by the head of the implementing office. Technical requirements, the bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. These certifications shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Contract award. The contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid, and as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. Contract award should be made within the bid validity period. The performance security shall be in a form selected by the procuring entity in the amount indicated in the BDS, which shall not be less than the percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following price schedule. Form of performance security. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank. The amount of performance security not less than the percentage of the total contract price is 10%. for bank draft, guarantee, or revocable LC issued by a universal or commercial bank, 10%. Surety bond, callable upon demand, issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, 30%. The performance security shall be denominated in Philippine peso and posted in favor of the procuring entity, which shall be forfeited in the event it is established that the winning bidder is in default in any of its obligations under the contract.
May I ask if there are any questions or clarification from the participants? So there being none, I hereby declare the private conference adjourned. Thank you.